Hi everyone. Welcome to English Story School. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater, something beyond the ordinary? Maybe you've had moments where you believed in your dreams, but doubt and fear crept in, stopping you from moving forward. What if I told you that the champion mindset isn't just for a chosen few? It's within you, waiting to be unlocked. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a race. The crowd is cheering. But all you hear is the pounding of your heart in your chest. Your mind races with every thought, every doubt, every fear that tries to creep in. You've trained for this moment, put in hours, days, and months of hard work. You've pushed yourself to the limit, but as you stare down that long track, the finish line seems miles away. It feels almost impossible. Every part of you wants to hesitate, wants to doubt whether this is even possible. But here's the reality. The question isn't if you'll win. It's whether you'll step up to that challenge and rise. This is where the true test begins. This is where the champion mindset takes shape. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or hoping for the stars to align. It's about choosing to show up. The truth is the champions, those born to win, don't just show up to compete. They don't show up to make excuses or try. They show up to win. They come ready to fight, ready to sacrifice, ready to push through the pain. They have one thing that others don't, the unshakable belief that they are meant to win. So, what makes them different from everyone else? It's their mindset. You see, the champion mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you create. It's forged in the fires of adversity, shaped by the hard decisions you make, and strengthened by the belief that you can overcome anything. When others walk away from challenges, the champion steps forward, willing to face the storm head-on. It's about embracing discomfort, not running from it. It's about choosing growth over complacency, even when the road ahead seems unclear. But here's the kicker. Most people never get started. Most people never step onto the track, never face the challenge because they are afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of the pain that comes with pushing themselves beyond their limits. They fear that failure means defeat, that it somehow proves they're not good enough. But here's a truth that changes everything. Failure is not the end. In fact, failure is often the beginning of something incredible. When you embrace failure as part of the journey, you start to see it differently. You stop viewing it as something to be avoided and start seeing it as a stepping stone. It's through failure that you learn the most about yourself, about your limits, and about your strength. When you fail, you don't fall, you rise. The champions understand this. They know that failure is just another step toward victory. They don't let it define them. Instead, they let it fuel them. Each setback, each defeat becomes a lesson, and they use that lesson to become stronger, smarter, and more determined. So, here's the real question for you. Are you ready to unlock your champion mindset? Are you ready to leave behind the doubts and the fears, to stop worrying about what others think or what might happen if you fail? Because if you are, the journey we're about to embark on will light that fire inside you, the fire that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how fierce the storm. The road to becoming a true champion is not an easy one. It's a path filled with obstacles, doubts, and challenges. But it's also a path that is so worth it. You were born to win, but you have to choose to rise every single day, to choose to show up when it's hard, and to believe, even when everything else tells you to quit. This is where your story begins. Are you ready to take the first step? Because that first step is the one that will set everything in motion. And once you've made that choice, there is nothing that can stop you. You may be standing at the starting line right now, unsure of what lies ahead. But trust me, if you've got the heart of a champion, if you have the mindset to match, the race is already as good as won. Do you know what all champions have in common? It's not just their skill, their luck, or their connections. It's something far more powerful, a mindset that drives them to pursue greatness, no matter how impossible it seems. They've all walked a path that many people fear to tread, a path that requires more than just talent. It demands an unbreakable will, a willingness to face the toughest challenges, and an ironclad belief in their own potential. This is the road of self-discipline, hard work, and relentless pursuit of greatness. It's a road that most people avoid because it's not easy, it's not glamorous. But this road is where the spark of true greatness is born. Here's the thing. The spark happens in that exact moment when you choose not to give up. It's when everything feels impossible, when failure stares you in the face, and the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the sheer force of your will to keep going. That's where champions are made, not in the moment of victory, but in the moment of choice, when they could have quit but chose to rise instead. Take the story of a young athlete who had nothing but a dream. For years, he faced defeat after defeat, trying and failing, pushing and striving, yet never reaching that elusive victory. The race seemed always out of reach, the finish line never close enough. His training was relentless, his effort unmatched, but still, the wind seemed to slip through his fingers, just beyond his grasp. And with every loss, doubt crept in, both from the outside world and, at times, from within. People around him began to question his ability. Some even abandoned him, including his closest friends. They saw his repeated failures and thought, maybe it's just not meant to be. But there was something inside of him, a fire that no one could extinguish. It was a belief so fierce, so strong, that no amount of doubt or failure could shake it. He didn't settle for being good enough. He didn't allow the world's voice to drown out his own. He knew that the path to greatness was never a smooth one. It was a path of struggle, sacrifice, and more often than not, standing up one more time than you've been knocked down. His journey wasn't about avoiding failure. It was about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as fuel. He understood that the road to success would not be paved with ease or comfort, but with hardship, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to never give up, no matter how many times the world told him to quit. He believed that the true measure of a champion wasn't how many times you fell, it was how many times you rose. Then came the day that would change everything. He was faced with the biggest challenge of his career, a moment where his heart was heavy with doubt, and the weight of past failures tried to crush his spirit. He was on the brink of exhaustion, physically and mentally. Every part of him screamed to stop, to throw in the towel, to say, "I've given enough. This isn't worth it." But in that moment, he had a choice. A moment where he could either let all of his past failures define him, or he could use everything he had learned to push through, to give it his absolute all. And he made a choice that would define the rest of his life. He chose to give it his all. No more excuses. No more doubt. Just pure, unwavering belief in his own potential, and in the process he had painstakingly built over the years. And in that moment, everything changed. With every ounce of strength he had left, he pushed forward. The finish line, once so distant, now felt within reach. His body screamed in pain, but his heart, his mind, and his spirit were united in one singular purpose: to finish what he had started. And when he finally crossed that finish line, it wasn't just as a winner. It was as a transformed person. The journey, the struggle, the sacrifices, it had all led to this moment. And in that moment, he became something more than just an athlete. He became a champion. He had built the champion mindset through every failure, every setback, every moment of doubt. He had risen from the ashes. And that's what champions do. They don't just rise when everything is going well. They rise when it feels like the world is stacked against them. They rise because they refuse to let failure define them. They rise because they understand that the road to greatness isn't easy, but it's worth it. And so can you. You might be in the middle of your own journey, facing your own challenges, your own doubts, but remember this. You are walking the same road that champions have walked before you. The only thing that separates you from the greatest is your ability to keep going when it gets tough. You might fall, you might fail, but every time you rise, you become stronger, you become wiser, and you become closer to the champion you were born to be. So, as you face your own battles, remember that every champion has walked this road. They've faced their doubts, their failures, and their struggles. But what made them champions was their decision to keep going when everyone else would have given up. That's the power of the champion mindset, the ability to face the storm and keep moving forward, no matter what. The road is hard. The journey isn't easy. But if you're willing to walk it, you'll emerge stronger than you ever thought possible. Because, just like the young athlete, you're not just aiming for victory, you're aiming for transformation. And when you reach that finish line, you won't just be a winner, you'll be a champion. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think about this. What do you believe about yourself? Do you truly see yourself as someone capable of greatness? Or do you still carry doubts about your potential, wondering if you really have what it takes? Because here's the truth. Your belief, my friend, is the engine that will drive you toward your goals. Without belief, you're just floating aimlessly, waiting for something to change, hoping for a miracle. But when you start believing in yourself, when you truly embrace the power that resides within you, you become unstoppable. This isn't just another motivational cliche. This is the key to unlocking your true potential. The champions, the ones who rise above every challenge they face, all share one thing in common. They believe in themselves without hesitation. They don't wait for others to believe in them first. They don't need external validation. They have an inner conviction that drives them to push forward, even when no one else can see their vision. It all starts with belief. Think about a time when you faced something incredibly difficult. Maybe it was a personal challenge, a situation that seemed insurmountable, or perhaps a time when you had to push through overwhelming doubt and fear. I'm sure there was a moment where you thought, I can't do this, but something deep inside of you kept you moving forward. Maybe it was the smallest spark of hope, or the whisper of resilience in your mind, telling you, you're stronger than this. You can get through this. That moment, that belief, was the difference between quitting and pushing through. It was belief in yourself, belief in your abilities, and the unwavering understanding that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to rise above it. That's what fuels every champion. It's not their skill alone, it's their unshakable belief in their potential. Imagine for a second that you're standing at the base of a mountain. It looks impossible to climb. The path ahead is steep, the summit barely visible. You could look at that mountain and think, this is too much. I'll never make it. Or you could look at that mountain and think, this is my challenge. I've got this. The champions know that their beliefs shape their reality. They know that no matter how high the mountain is, they will reach the top because they believe they can. They don't wait for permission to be great. They take control of their own destiny. Now, think about how that applies to you. What mountains are you facing right now? What obstacles are standing in your way, telling you that you're not good enough, or that the journey is too hard? The champions have learned something critical. They don't wait for the perfect conditions. They don't wait for all the pieces to fall into place before they take action. They trust in their belief that they will figure it out along the way. They walk into every situation with a sense of purpose, a deep knowing that no obstacle is too big for them to conquer. You have that same power inside of you. Every single one of us has the ability to shape our future by what we believe. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often just the belief that they can succeed. When you believe in your abilities, you stop questioning yourself at every turn. You stop waiting for validation from others. You stop allowing doubt to control your actions. Instead, you start taking risks. You take charge of your own destiny. But here's the challenge. Belief is a choice. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's something you must decide to embrace every single day. Even on the days when things don't go your way, even when failure seems inevitable, you have to choose to believe that you are capable of more, that you are capable of turning setbacks into stepping stones. Belief isn't just about saying, "I can do it." It's about embodying it, feeling it in every fiber of your being. When you believe in yourself, your energy changes. People can feel it. You begin to attract opportunities. You begin to notice solutions instead of obstacles. Belief has a magnetic power that draws success toward you. Think about the champions, whether in sports, business, or life. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for things to be easy. They know that their success starts from within. Their belief is the foundation that everything else is built upon. And you, too, can unlock that power within yourself. You don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need the world to tell you that you're worthy of success. You just need to believe in yourself, and the world will begin to open up to you. So, what will it take for you to believe in yourself fully? To stop second-guessing your abilities? To silence the voices of doubt that hold you back? You are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. Start acting like it. Embrace the power of belief, and there is nothing that can stop you from reaching your fullest potential. Remember this. The champions you admire didn't get to where they are by waiting for belief to magically appear. They made a conscious decision to believe, and that belief propelled them through every challenge. It wasn't their circumstances or their resources that made them champions. It was their belief, and that same power is within you. Now, are you ready to tap into that power? Because it's waiting for you. It's inside you right now, just waiting for you to believe. Here's the truth that no one wants to hear. Success isn't an overnight thing. There's no shortcut, no magic formula that can instantly transform your dreams into reality. The road to winning is long, messy, and filled with hurdles that will test every ounce of your strength, patience, and determination. But here's the kicker. This is exactly what makes it all worth it. It's easy to think that success is just a series of lucky breaks, or that the most successful people have somehow found a magical shortcut. But if you look closely at the stories of the greatest champions, you'll realize that the grind, the relentless day in and day out effort, is where the real magic happens. It's not the victories you see on the surface. It's the countless hours of hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance that most people never see. And it's this grind that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary champions. Let me tell you about a real-life champion, someone who embodied the grind better than anyone. She wasn't born with any extraordinary natural talent. She didn't come from wealth or privilege. In fact, she started with far fewer resources than most people. But what she did have was something that could never be bought or inherited, an unbreakable will to succeed. Every single day, she woke up before the sun, determined to be better than the day before. She didn't wait for motivation to hit her. She didn't wait for the perfect conditions. No, she got to work even when she didn't feel like it. She worked on her craft, whether it was practice, learning, or refining her skills. The pain, the fatigue, the doubt, all of it was just part of the process. She embraced it. She knew that every setback wasn't a sign of failure. It was a lesson. Every failure wasn't something to be afraid of. It was simply fuel to keep going. She took the hardest moments and used them as stepping stones, learning from them, evolving because of them. What set her apart from so many others who dropped out along the way? She never stopped. Even when it got tough, when the weight of failure seemed unbearable, when the critics said she couldn't do it, she kept grinding. When everyone else was looking for shortcuts or answers, she was working relentlessly, refusing to let up. It wasn't just about the short bursts of inspiration or the easy wins. It was about the consistency, the commitment, and the relentless pursuit of excellence, even in the face of adversity. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't always exciting. It was just grind. And eventually, all that hard work paid off. She became a world-renowned expert in her field, respected by her peers, and celebrated for her relentless pursuit of perfection. But here's the truth that separates the champions from everyone else. The grind never stops. It's not something you do once and then relax. It's not a phase you go through and then sit back and enjoy the results. It's a constant pursuit of excellence. When you reach the top, you don't stop grinding. You don't rest on your laurels. You find new ways to improve, new heights to reach, and new challenges to conquer. Because the moment you stop grinding is the moment you start slipping backward. It's easy to look at the champions and think they've made it, that they've somehow reached the finish line and can finally relax. But the truth is, for them, the journey never ends. They've built a mindset of excellence, a habit of constantly improving, and a hunger that can't be satisfied. That's why they stay on top. That's why they continue to break records and set new standards. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's the grind. It's the daily commitment to being better, to doing better, and to never settling for less. So, what does this mean for you? It means that if you want to be a champion, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to grind day after day, even when the going gets tough, even when it feels like you're not making any progress, even when the results aren't showing up as quickly as you'd like. The grind isn't about instant gratification. It's about building something that lasts, something that can withstand any challenge, any setback, and any obstacle. The truth is, the grind is what makes you who you are. It's the defining factor that separates those who are truly great from those who only dream of greatness. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about working when others are sleeping. It's about pushing yourself even when you think you can't go any further. That's the mindset of a champion. So don't shy away from the grind. Embrace it. Understand that it's not the easy wins that matter. It's the hard-fought victories, the moments where you push through the toughest challenges, that will define your journey. And if you commit to the grind, if you give it everything you've got, you'll look back and see that all of it, the pain, the struggles, the failures, was worth it. Because in the end, the grind is where the magic happens. Finally, let's talk about something that holds true power: legacy. What do you want to leave behind? What impact do you want to make in this world? Because here's something the winners understand that many people miss. True success isn't just about your own victories. A champion mindset isn't just about winning for yourself. It's about what you do with your success. It's about what you leave behind when your journey comes to an end. It's about the difference you make in the world, the lives you touch, and the people you inspire. Think about the people who have inspired you. The ones who didn't just change the game, but rewrote the rules entirely. The ones whose names are etched in history, not just for their accomplishments, but for the way they transformed the world. What do they all have in common? They didn't just win for themselves. They made a difference. Their success wasn't just measured by their trophies, their wealth, or their fame. It was measured by the impact they had on the people around them. They understood that true success comes from lifting others as you climb. They knew that greatness isn't just about what you achieve. It's about how you use that success to raise others up, to leave a legacy of strength, courage, and inspiration. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. How do you want to be remembered? The champions don't just focus on their own journey. They focus on how they can use their own success to pave the way for others. They understand that when you win, When you rise, it's not just for you. It's for everyone you can inspire, everyone you can teach, everyone who's watching you and believing that if you could do it, so can they. That's the core of the champion mindset. It's not just about winning. It's about winning with purpose, with a passion that extends beyond your personal goals. It's about seeing your success as a tool to change the world around you, to leave something behind that will continue to inspire long after you're gone. And that is exactly what you can do. You have the power to change the world, to leave a lasting impact that will ripple through generations. But the question is, what will you do with that power? What will you do with the greatness that is waiting for you to unlock? Will you rise above your challenges, embrace the grind, and believe in your own abilities to make a difference? Or will you allow the fear of failure to hold you back, to keep you stuck in the shadows of self-doubt? The champions are those who understand that legacy is everything. It's not about how much money you make or how many accolades you collect. It's about what you give. It's about what you inspire in others and how you contribute to the world's evolution. When you step into your greatness, you don't just elevate your own life, you elevate the lives of those around you. Now, it's time for you to make a decision. Are you ready to create a legacy that lasts? Because your story is still being written. Your journey is still unfolding. Every step you take, every choice you make, is shaping the legacy you will leave behind. Will you use your success to build something bigger than yourself? Will you inspire others, raise them up, and show them that they too can achieve greatness? Or will you let fear and doubt prevent you from stepping into your full potential? The champions rise above the challenges. They embrace the grind, they trust in their belief, and they know that their journey is about more than just them. It's about creating a legacy, a story of triumph, of courage, and of transformation. You are destined for greatness, and that greatness isn't just for your benefit. It's for the world to witness and to learn from. So, with that said, what are you waiting for? The world is waiting for your legacy. Are you ready to rise and make it unforgettable? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,